Hi, my name is Chrissy and I'm a certified exercise physiologist and Pilates instructor. I'm going to show you 10 exercises that are good for rock climbers who suffer from elbow tendinitis. Tendinitis is pain caused by chronic inflammation of the tendons around a joint. Strengthening supportive muscles and working on proper movement patterns reduces strain on the injured joint, which will allow the tendons to heal. Before we get started, be sure to check in with your physiotherapist, especially if you have ever had a previous shoulder injury. It is always best to do the exercises they have prescribed you daily and have them sign off that you are ready to add these integrative core exercises. These exercises will address postural alignment issues that could be limiting mobility and strength. The first exercise is Scapula Isolations. Draw your belly button in, breathe, and move your scapula, also known as your shoulder blades, together and apart as much as you can, like this. This exercise works all the stabilizer muscles of the shoulder girdle, especially the serratus anterior, which runs along the rib cage and underneath the shoulder blades. Do it as a warm-up to get your core muscles turned on and your shoulders moving. Every movement in your body is executed with more strength if you can engage your core with it. Engage your core by hugging your belly button in and drawing the front back sides of your waist in as though you're wearing a corset. If there is no core engagement, your limbs and joints are left vulnerable as they were not designed to move without being connected to the powerhouse. The second exercise is side planks. This will work on your shoulder stability. Do them on your forearms to avoid putting pressure on the injured elbow. Lowering and lifting your hips will work on flexibility. I recommend doing 3 sets of 10 on each side with scapula isolations in between. The more mobility you have in your hips and low back area, the better your climbing form will be. The next exercise is dips. You'll need a bench or a chair. You can do it with your feet on the floor or elevated. The higher your feet go, the more challenging it is. Dips effectively stretch the front of the shoulder girdle and require the upper core muscles to engage while strengthening the back of the shoulder. Be sure to avoid your arms rolling forward like this and roll them to the back of your shoulder socket in order to create balance in your shoulder joint as you do this exercise. Foam roller cactus arms. Laying on the foam roller with your arms in cactus opens the chest and shoulders, which can become constricted if you have a seated job. I recommend practicing core engagement by lifting one leg and then the other while you do this to train the muscles that run along the spine and hold it in a neutral position. You can continue to get to a deeper stretch to the front of the shoulders by adding light weights and doing a fly exercise. Increase the weight as you feel comfortable, but don't let added weight detract from your range of motion. Be sure to move to the deepest stretch you can handle. If you've ever had a rotator cuff injury, doing this stretch will help break up the scar tissue and regain your shoulder's range of motion. Just reach your arms overhead to 12 o'clock. Then move to 10 o'clock. Then move to 11 o'clock. When you find a spot that feels a bit vulnerable, sit with it and stretch until you feel the progress to release. You may want to begin doing this exercise without weights. Moving slowly through this range of motion will rebuild confidence to access the range of motion required for reaching difficult positions while climbing. The last 3 exercises are comprehensive core exercises. Now that you've engaged the deep core stabilizers of your shoulder girdle, we can increase the strength of these positions by lighting up the core muscles with these dynamic movements. Leg lifts. Lay on your back, lower your legs only as low as you can keep your waist pulled in tight. Having your hands on your core is a good way to check that your belly isn't puffing up. You may want to curl your head and shoulders off the floor to help keep that belly button pulling in. Use an exhale breath as the legs lower to help engage the deepest layer of the core muscles. Twisted mountain climber. Just draw your knee across to the opposite elbow. This exercise requires shoulder stabilization while firing up your core muscles. It will challenge your cardiovascular system, which activates recovery in your nervous system. Hanging leg lifts to stretch the shoulder, elbow, and wrist out. Do as many as you can and repeat 3 times. Add on reps as it gets easier. I recommend doing this workout daily in order to avoid further injury while enjoying your active lifestyle. Write the exercises down and memorize them. It should only take you 10 to 20 minutes a day. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and share it with your friends. I wish you the safest and most fun climbing season ever.